Hey, what's going on out there? I would like to welcome every single one of you to Water Your Soil. So, this one right here, this video, this interview is going to be live. And this is going to be an interview with Chad's Money Minutes. And I've been wanting to do an interview with Chad for a while because I think Chad is great when it comes to the credit card space on YouTube, especially with his perspectives. So, this is going to be a good introduction to some of you who may not know who Chad is, but I have a feeling that majority of you already know who Chad is. And Chad is someone with great insight. He's someone that I look towards going to his channel and finding out great information. And like I said, he posts videos on perspectives, and you can always gain great insight from his perspectives. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Chad on and we're going to get right into it. All right. What's going on, Chad?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you so much, Nell, for having me here.
No
Thank you,
problem.
thank you, thank you. What's up, everybody?
Yeah. So, Chad, can you give everyone an introduction to you as far as like your channel and what you got going on over at Chad's Money's Minutes?
Well, I am Chad of Chad's Money Minutes. I started my channel originally only to do minute-long content. This was even before YouTube Shorts because I didn't think anyone would want to listen to me for longer than 60 seconds. But I've since segued into long-form credit card content, which was my original passion, even though I didn't think I was confident enough to get it rolling. But it has now built into something that has become way bigger than I could ever imagine. And now, as Nell said, I'm into doing perspectives and also, vlogging my travels, using my credit card points, and really, walking the walk as well as talking the talk.
Cool. So, Chad, how long have you been on YouTube? Because I noticed when I first got on there, you were around as well. So, how long have you been doing it for?
Well, originally, this YouTube channel, funny thing, was actually started in, I want to say 2018, when I wanted to go another route before the the world shutdown, and I wanted to try to get people into retail investing. I thought
Yeah.
about starting a YouTube channel. I had no idea how to structure it, so it went dormant for I think like 2 years, and then actually 4 years, and then in 2022 I started Chad's Money Minutes on the channel, repackaged it, and I've been rolling ever since.
Okay. Cool. So, Chad, it's kind of cool to know that you started out Chad's Money Minutes. I do have a question regarding credit cards. What made you get into the credit card space?
The funny thing was is the credit card space made me start the channel, but the lack of confidence because I'm like at that point I think I had been watching like Radical Marketer and Ben Hedges and Daniel Braun and Luke's Points and Miles, and I'm talking about that's when these guys had a fraction of
Yeah,
what they have now. I don't even think Luke had 5,000 subscribers when I started watching him. Daniel Braun was like at like 10K. He's in six digits now. So it's like I broke into it, and really RJ Financial got me started after I got this credit card and I wanted to learn more about it. But then when I saw the breadth of knowledge that these people had, I'm like, I'm just not there yet. So let me do what I know how to do, help people save money. And I'll do so in small bites, but I didn't anticipate the fact that, minute long videos don't at that for what I was doing didn't have a lot of rewatchability. Now they're all the rage, but I mean, I was just trying to do something for the common man just to get my feet wet. And then when I got confident, I segued into credit cards.
yeah, I feel you, man. Yeah, I had the same issue as far as I didn't even start off on video. Like my first couple of videos, probably like at least my first 30 videos, it was just me talking. It was no video, but I decided to get on, and I'm happy you decided to get on because you give great insight when it comes to the credit cards and just the credit card space in general when it comes to these perspectives. Because for those people who are watching and may not be familiar, Chad has perspectives that he give on what's currently going on the state of credit cards. What made you decide to start giving the perspectives on your channel?
The funny thing with that was they were never meant to be Chad's Perspectives. The Chad's Perspective moniker was actually a viewer idea.
Okay.
And on my channel, I prize the relationship with the subscribers most of all, period. That's why I've never really done things like clickbait and this and that and whatever. Like to have a real connection with my audience, the people who give me, as Joe would say, the privilege of their time. That is what means the most to me. So I actually take a lot of their ideas. The original thing was my original video was 7 unpopular opinions from a credit card YouTuber, because there is a meta surrounding credit cards where everyone was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The Chase Sapphire Preferred is the best thing since sliced bread and butter. Oh, if you don't do Chase, then you're not doing credit cards. Oh, you have to have the Amex trifecta. Oh, you have to do this. You have to do that. And I started realizing that everybody's story is not the same. And instead of trying to bend my life to fit the same story that everyone else is telling, why don't I just tell it how I'm living it? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And that's how it all started. And I think I'm like 16 installments in, but I love doing perspectives now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the perspectives. I think that's needed in this space, because it's genuine. It's not robotic, and like I stated, that type of advice and that type of perspective is definitely needed. When it comes to credit cards, when did you first get your start with credit cards, like your credit card journey?
Well, I've had credit cards since I was like 18. Then I blew up my credit. I think I blew up my credit 3 or 4 times. I'm talking collections. Like I couldn't get toilet paper on credit. It was bad.
Yeah,
I think my at one point I swear my credit score had to be in the double digits. It was that bad. And then I came back from it. Then I did it again. Then I came back from it. And then for a while I was just debit card. But what started me now was I was turning 40, and my wife and I were at the house. We were planning a trip, and I said, you know what? I want to get a credit card with an annual fee. I've never had one. They're made out of metal now. I really knew absolutely nothing.
yeah,
So I upgraded my Delta Blue to a Delta SkyMiles Platinum card. And I'm like, all right, I'll pay this annual fee, but I want to get all the money I can out of it. So what better place to learn than YouTube University? Discovered the credit card genre, the points and miles, and it was just off to the races then. And I was an avid watcher for a while before I ever started a channel.
yeah. That's cool, man. So when it comes to credit cards, like what are your top credit cards, like your favorite credit cards of all time? I can't just say currently, but of all time, your favorite credit cards.
My favorites, the Amex Platinum, because for anyone who doesn't know, I'm changing industries, but for the last 6 years, I've been traveling nationwide consulting. So I do way more traveling than the average person.
Yeah,
So the Amex Platinum has always been a mainstay in my wallet. It literally stays in my wallet. Most people don't keep it in their wallet, but I do because I've been on planes that much. So the Amex Platinum, the Amex Gold, I had an office job and I was clearing so many points by footing lunch for the job and everybody paying me back. And then I like the Built card, and the last one would have to be the Wells Fargo autograph.
nice,
Autograph card is crazy card.
nice. So one question that I like to ask people as of late, like when it comes to these banks, as
Mhm.
far as like that distribute credit cards, which one like is your top, your favorite that you have?
The funny thing is while I deal with Amex the most, I'm actually agnostic as far as banks go, because banks don't care about you.
Yeah,
They don't, like, you are a number, and you are a vehicle for them to get their bottom line to the black.
definitely.
So yeah, I have no problem using Chase points. I've used Built points. I've used Wells. Just use Wells Fargo to book an $11 trip to Philadelphia, but I don't really have a preference per se. So
Yeah,
I'll use them all, but I don't prefer one over the other. It's just wherever I can find the value, I'll find it.
nice. Yeah, you mentioned travel, and when it comes to travel, when it comes to airport lounges, because I know you are someone who does a lot of traveling. So when it comes to airport lounges, what's the best airport lounge that you've been to?
The best one. The Well, one of the best Delta Sky Clubs is the Delta Sky Club in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
By far, that place is gorgeous. It is enormous, has an outside sitting area, and it's like you're walking into a grand ballroom. That place is amazing. You take this huge long escalator. So if anybody's traveling, you get a chance to go through Salt Lake City. One of the best Delta Sky Clubs I have ever been in. Period. Even better than the ones in Atlanta. Now,
Nice.
as far Centurion Lounge, it's a tie between Seattle and Atlanta. Atlanta has the newest Centurion Lounge, which is the biggest in the country, and it is super nice. But Seattle redid theirs, got out of a very small space, and has like a mezzanine type structure
Mm,
where you can actually look down on the airport as it's running. It's really cool.
that's
Those are tied for my top two, and internationally it would be the Lufthansa Business Lounge. It That and the Air France Salon. I'm gonna lean towards the Lufthansa Lounge
yeah.
because it is just that German efficiency, very just squared away. But the Air France Salon in Paris is gigantic. It's enormous.
Nice. Nice. So, Chad, you're someone that I always look forward to, and that I always go to as far as learning about points and travel and things like that, especially international travel.
Hmm.
And if someone is new with learning about credit cards, just straight up new to credit card YouTube or credit cards in general, what type of advice do you have for them? Like, what should they be doing to start off their journey?
Well, based on my own experience, I would tell them before you apply for card number one, period, before you look at any applications, look at, and this is something I'm working into a new perspective. So I'm happy you asked this. So it's kind of a preview.
Yeah.
Understand what your financial culture is. Are you an overspender? Are you a super consumer? Are you someone who cannot see money and not spend it? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what kind of spender are you? You know what I mean? Are you Spartan? Are you cheap with yourself? Because if you're cheap with yourself, most people would think that would be best for the credit card game, but it actually isn't because you're not going to earn that many points. You know what I mean? But if you are a super consumer and you're not responsible, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble. So first thing I would say is understand your own financial culture. Then the next thing is, how much debt do you already have? Have a real idea of that. Because if you're carrying balances, heaven forbid something happens, you got to carry one. You don't want to get on that debt snowball. And then the third thing is decide what these credit cards are tools. What are you going to use these tools for? What is your plan? If you're going to get something that's going to return value, if you're going to get something that's going to be useful in your daily life, if you are if you're just doing it so you can feel like you have extra money or to flex or just cuz you can, stay away. And then the fourth one is get on YouTube and watch as much as you can. Everyone has their tweak, everyone has their twist, each bank has different rules. Just come with knowledge, come armed with knowledge. That is what I would highly suggest. That's before filling out application number one. And if you notice, I didn't even say check your credit score yet. Because
Yeah.
if you're getting credit cards, you should have an idea of what it is. But those four things would be my biggest.
Yeah, that's great advice, Chad. I like what you said about as far as learning from different avenues and things like that, especially on here. When I did that video, I did a video a while back. Some people may know because some people are new, but some people may not know. But I did a video a while back on the credit card disparity on YouTube in this credit card space, and Chad actually did a follow-up video for that. Now, when I originally did the video, it was to shine light on my fellow content creators like Chad and Sledge and Cesar and you know, yeah, shout out to Sledge. Yeah, and
Salute.
call me Lottie, and Chad did a follow-up. I appreciate Chad for doing that follow-up because it was important. And some people they took that follow-up video as an opportunity to take shots at me. And I'm like, I'm not including myself. This was my opportunity to shine light on my fellow creators. That's what it was about. I wasn't complaining for me. I want the light shined on my fellow creators, but it was interesting just to make that video and you follow up because it's true. You can get information from anywhere, and I don't think people really like to branch out and think about it in that perspective, but you really can, and I appreciate you for actually doing the follow-up video to that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great video. And I
Yeah,
remember when I watched it, I'm like, he just made a video and he's saying what I've been thinking. And it's like he jumped right into my head and he put it out there. It's
yeah,
like, yeah, what it's very off kilter. Like I know people with great information that aren't getting the kind of spins that they should be. And I'm just speaking
correct,
objectively, not
correct.
just because I like these people or what have you, but like they're legit giving good information. They've lived it. They've made the mistakes. They've cataloged them. Like, why
Correct.
aren't they bigger than they currently are? So yeah, your video it hit me, and
Yeah,
when a video hits me, yeah, it's yeah, that was a good one. I
yeah,
I, I felt and thank you so much for the kind words, but I felt like someone needed to echo that sentiment because it was very true.
definitely. And it still stands today. That's the interesting
Yeah.
thing. And it's always gonna be the topic of when it comes down to it, like people will make excuses for it. They'll say, well, the graphics and things like that. But honestly, I think Lonnie, in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion. I think Lonnie
Mhm.
has the best graphics in credit card YouTube. So that
Yeah.
excuse, that's automatically threw out the window for me. So it's
Yeah, his
something,
animations are on point.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just something that I felt the need to shine light on fellow content creators because I do feel like there's so much information regarding credit cards and credit scores. And what you
Mhm.
don't want to do is you just want to, view whatever YouTube throws at you because YouTube is going to throw at whatever they feel like you're going to watch. They're going to throw that.
Yeah,
But my advice is to everyone's watching is to seek out different forms of information, whether it's people who don't look like you or they're from a different background. Because I know some of the people who commented on your video that you did in response, they was like, well, educational backgrounds and things like that. I'm like, well, hold up, you want to go and get information from anywhere, long as it's legit, because you never know what could help you. I'm not gonna limit myself of where I get my information from just because I don't
absolutely.
relate to that person. So
Yeah,
that was my whole purpose for making that and to shine light on my fellow creators.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Because sometimes, like Caesar Joel, he's in the chat.
correct. Shout
Sometimes
out
I'll
to
go
Caesar.
into his live feeds and I don't speak a word of Spanish.
Correct,
But you know what? I'm coming out to show support
correct,
because I mean, most people will speak in Spanish, but it to support those who and he is blowing up like crazy
definitely,
on
definitely,
Spanish speaking YouTube. And there is a huge amount of people who need to be reached as
correct,
far as that is concerned. You know what I mean? Like I tell like the young ladies who come out, you have your financial knowledge, understand people need to hear this. Some
correct.
people might be ready for it, some people might not, but put it out there. I will support you. If nobody supports you, I will support you because I think everyone has a unique experience that can be of value to the collective.
That's very true. So leaving off of what you just said, like what advice do you have for, a content creator who may be watching or they just may be, on YouTube in general and they're thinking about, getting on credit card YouTube. They're like, "Hey, I have some opinions of my own or experience of my own that I want to share." But they're on edge as far as whether or not they want to do it, because I think we all go through that, whether or not we want to get on camera and trying to figure out if we want to go through with it. But from a content creator's perspective, what advice do you have for people who are considering it?
It would be two main things that in all the time I wish I would have done differently. The first thing is tell your story from your point of view. Do not try to don't try to relate to people who you cannot relate to or who are not in your cohort, because it feels forced. You will burn out, you will be rushed, and you can't compete.
Correct.
I'm a 42-year-old father of four. I cannot compete or relate per se to a 25-year-old who's still at home with no children. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a husband. I can't compete. I can't relate in some cases to some of the trials that single men go through. You understand what I mean? So tell your story is going to be the first one. The more authentic you are, the less you will burn out. The less chances you have of burning out, because you live your life every day. So you never have to sit and think and make something up and come up with an idea and so on and so forth. And then the next piece of advice, which is extremely important, especially to new content creators, if any are here, go live as soon as humanly possible. If you know anybody who is going live, try to get on with their channel if you can't broadcast from your channel. The reason being is that will be the barometer of whether you're ready in an environment, because YouTube is it's a safe space.
Yeah.
Like me and you are speaking, but we don't have anybody adversarial. Sometimes you'll have people who will ask questions that will stump you. You need to
Correct.
know how you're going to handle those situations.
Correct.
Some things you might not know. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
okay not to know everything.
That's true.
But how are you going to handle that when faced with that? Like I've said it before. I don't trust channels that get to a certain subscriber count and still have no live videos. That means you're trying to control the narrative as much as you can. But if I'm gonna connect with you, I want to be able to have a conversation with you.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I don't think that's too much to ask, especially when I'm giving you my time and I'm not even paying you for it.
Yeah.
You're not paying me for my time. You know what I mean? I should be able to have a conversation with you. I should be able to ask you questions that, I might not want to call the credit card company and ask. Like, what are your experiences? So those would be my top two things. Tell
Yeah.
your story, your authentic story, and go live as soon as possible.
That's
That's the
great
best way to
advice.
get your practice.
That's very true. We got a super chat. Shout out to John R. John R said, Neil and Chad, two of the very best. Shout out to you, John. Appreciate you coming by. Um, so Chad, with the perspectives, I appreciate you. You're genuine when it comes to it, and you don't hold back. What would you like to see in regards to credit cards, in these next couple of years? Like, if it was up to you, the changes or improvements that you would make to credit cards, what will it be? What would you like to see?
The thing that I would like to see, and this is counter to what most people would say, is I would actually like to see annual fees go up, and I would like to see a culling of the people who get cards to get cards. Now, why would I say that? Most people would be like, that's stupid, that's a silly thing. But the amount of people who have credit cards, now you deal with people with their credit scores and you
Yeah,
educate people on how to get the best credit scores, right? A lot of people get cards for not the best reasons, and they will default. They will not pay. Now, mind you, the points and miles game is something that I depend on other people to pay for me. That's what shores up the program. But if
correct.
people are getting these cards and defaulting, now all of a sudden the scale's flipping, because if I pay my cards on time and in full, if I'm carrying minimal or no balances, they're not making money off of me. And if they're not making money off of me and they're not making money off of you, that means they have to take benefits from somewhere. You know what I mean? I
That's
don't want
true.
them to take my lounge access.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
far a card has already lost that. The Amex Green's already lost that. I don't want them to take any of my insurances, which I have used, my CDW, but that's what they're going to end up doing, because they can't not make money on both ends. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So if they cull the weak, and yes, higher annual fees will hurt. But if you are getting actual value from the card, using it in your actual life, it will be a minor inconvenience, but not soul crushing.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, in regard to credit cards, um, are there any credit cards that you feel are overrated in regards to credit cards?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The Chase Sapphire Preferred is number one on that list. That
Yeah.
card is so supremely overrated and outdated. They Chase has a unique experience of being the biggest bank. They are
Correct.
the they are the house of diamond, rightfully so. I'm not gonna hate on them, but here's the thing: because that card is so ubiquitous, because everyone just as soon as they see anything over a 60,000 point sign up bonus, they're just like championing this card just for simply existing. They're never going to change or improve it. Now, the reason what really makes the Chase Sapphire Preferred really just overrated to me is how competitive the no annual fee market has become. The Built card, the Wells Fargo autograph card, two major cards that, and they're both, powered by Wells Fargo, but they give you amazing things for no money out of pocket. Even Chase itself has a competing card, their Amazon Prime card. The Amazon Prime Signature Visa is one of the most underrated beasts in the credit card game. So it's like you have a lot of things and you still have Chase with their same played out Sapphire and even the Reserve. I mean, they can do better to do better for
Correct.
those.
Now, you mentioned one of the underrated cards. Do you have a card that you feel was the most underrated card?
In in my collection would be the MX Green
Okay.
and the autograph.
Okay.
Both of those cards, the MX Green has some overlap with the gold, and the autograph just gives you so many different categories with 3X that you can get. Like, I don't see why everyone does not have one. And even its partner card, the Active Cash, you have 3X in almost everything, plus you have a 2X catch all, and then you don't have to pay to get to the transfer partners. Now, mind you, they don't have as many transfer partners as Amex and Chase, but that's not a bad bit of business for no money up front. Plus, you
Correct.
get a lot of the benefits that you'll get from 95, 150, in some cases, $250 cards. Well, cards that are now 325. So, I mean, that's just those two definitely underrated. Definitely. I did a I think I did a video about underrated cards as well. There are a couple of them out there that are lurking out there that in the right hands, oh man, they're
Yeah.
they're they're beasts.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you mentioned the autograph. I was looking at the autograph the other day. I don't have any cards with Wells Fargo right now, but
Mhm.
it's been something that Joe has talked about, and then I'm hearing you talk about it. As far as Wells Fargo is concerned, how is their customer service when it comes to credit cards?
I've never had an issue because I've never really called the only customer service I've truly dealt with is Capital One, Capital One Chase and Amex. Other
Okay.
than that, I haven't had to call customer service for anybody else. And for all three of those, I actually had comparative experiences with all three. I had decent experiences with all three. I had different issues and the professionalism was there. I never walked away feeling like, wow, I made a mistake dealing with this company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's I mean that's just my personal experience. As far as Wells Fargo, I actually bank with them, so I've had nothing but good experiences. I still maintain a couple of accounts with them.
Yeah. So what's currently your oldest credit card that you have?
My oldest credit card, well, now it is my Capital One Venture, which
Okay.
was product change from a Capital One Venture One, which was product change from a Capital One Quicksilver, which was product change from a Capital One Platinum when I got it in August of 2000. That is my
Nice.
oldest running credit card, and right behind it is my Discover. I
Nice.
think the Discover and the Capital One, I got them in the same year. I was 18 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love the I love Discover. I love their customer service,
Awesome
the way
card.
how they treat you. Definitely. I always recommend people to Discover. And earlier you mentioned traveling, and that's something I
Mhm,
know you for. I know you had went over to Italy, and
mhm.
which destination would you say is a destination that was your favorite destination that you have been thus far?
Me and the wife were just talking about this, and I believe I'm going to go with Rome as an all around place. It was just awesome, safe at night. And this is a metropolitan city that's been around for over 2,000 years.
Yeah.
So you could be walking past a Hermes store and then walk past some 3,000-year-old ruins. And that's within 2 minutes of one another. That is my favorite. I want to say that's my favorite city. We loved Lake Como. So, like, Italy is like our favorite destination. Um, Next year, we have Qatar, Cairo, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates. So we're going to see that part of creation. We're looking forward to it. But so far, it would be Italy with Paris as a close second.
Nice. Shout out to Sledge. Sledge said, "Mister, do your research is in the building." Shout out to Sledge. It's good to see you, Sledge.
Separations in the preparation.
Hey, you went to Lake Como,
Mhm,
and that's somewhere that's on my bucket list.
mhm.
What were some interesting things that you experienced with Lake Como? Because that's definitely somewhere where I want to go.
Well, if you're gonna go, first things first, you got to fly to Milan,
Okay.
and once you fly into Milan, it's about a 45-minute car ride. I would say just get a car service. Don't hassle with anything else, because once you're in Como, from that train station, literally the whole country is your oyster. There's a train station there, San Giovanni, and that's the one we took to Venice. We went to Venice from Como, but from there, the air coming off the Alps, it is the freshest, crisp. You
Nice.
just feel rejuvenated. And there's a downtown area in Como, and it's the Piazza Volta, and
Yeah.
it's named for the guy who gave his name to the electrical volt, Alessandro Volta. So the Piazza Volta has beautiful restaurants, open air space, shopping. Definitely check that out. And
Nice.
yeah, it has like a cosmopolitan vibe and a small town feel. I would highly suggest. And from there, you can actually take sightseeing boats all the way up to Switzerland, up to Lugano, Switzerland, because you're like right on the border of Italy and Switzerland.
Yeah.
Because Como actually has a couple of fingers that come off, so it's Como. Like, I want to say the city's name is Venera and Bellagio. Like, these places will take you on tours all through there. That place is beyond words,
Nice.
absolutely beyond words.
Yeah, it's definitely somewhere that I've been looking forward to checking out. I see the videos and the pictures online, and I'm like, man, this place looks beautiful. So
You
it's
gotta
good to
go.
actually, speak to somebody that actually been there. So it's definitely somewhere that I want to check out. Hey, Chad, what would you say? Your top five credit cards that you have right now, like your lineup or your top five.
My top five as of right now, which are probably going to be changing with this new job change. But okay, since the job doesn't start till tomorrow, we'll live in today. It's going to be my MX Platinum, my Robinhood Gold card. I use that a ton for the kids' stuff. For food, I've been leaning on my Saver card. For my Ink Business Cash. That card's really been killing it lately. So I've been using that. And on my most recent trip, I actually used my Ink Preferred a lot.
Nice.
So those cards have really been they've been working in the paint for me.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Joe. Joe said to him the best and my favorites, Ola Nell and Chad. Shout out to Joe Beretta.
Joe
Def-
B.
Definitely Joe B. Yeah, so when it comes to your channel, Chad's Money Minutes, what can we expect going forward from your channel?
Well, at
Because
this point, once I get my new daily normal, because I'm going to be working from home, I'm going to probably revamp my release schedule. As you can see, filming from my kids' room, got the Spider-Man sheets here. But I've always been one of those ones, I will go whenever. It doesn't matter. Like for me, I figure that, I've created the relationship with my people that where I shoot from doesn't matter, and they have really solidified that for me. But as of right now, I'm really looking forward to doing more perspectives, and on our upcoming trip to the Middle East, looking forward to vlogging that and doing some more domestic travel and showing some cool things in Florida as
nice,
well. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I've been looking at the financial landscape with some of my investments. And I think I'm going to be mixing some stock information in there and trying to tie it into credit cards as well.
nice. That's nice. So, Chad, if you were to refer a credit card to anyone who's watching, to everyone who's watching, one credit card, which card would it be and why?
One credit card, just generally one.
Yeah, just one in general.
Mm. Oh, that's a rough one. That's a tough one. I would have to go with for John Everyman. Mm. I got two in mind.
Okay, you throw out the two.
I would do the autograph and the green card.
Okay,
And the reason being, I still think the green card is underrated for the occasional traveler getting points back on your travel purchases, including hotel, airfare, and food. Three things that you're probably going to have use of when you travel is
right,
great. Even with, plus, it gives you the clear, which the value that you buy with that offsets the annual fee that you pay up front, so that is awesome. So that's on that side. And then in addition to that, the autograph card gives you 3x on if you have an electric car, 3x. If you got a gas car, 3x. Travel, if you forget your green card, 3x. I think everything's short of groceries. You go, you take the bus, you park, 3x. You know what I mean? It has some overlap with
nice.
the green card, but it's just 3x all over the board. So like those would be the ones for me that I would totally, if somebody generally asked, depending on how much they travel, that would be the difference between the two. If you're telling me you're not going to travel, autograph card all day. All
Definitely.
day long. All day long I'm pushing that card at you because it just covers so many things. But if you tell me that you're traveling based on my personal experience, I love the green card for the occasional traveler. You don't have to be a road warrior, but even if you do road trips, both of those cards are good. You don't even have to fly on them.
Yeah. Nice. So we got a super chat, another one. Shout out to Joe Barreto. He said, Neil, thank you. Hey, salute to you. By the way, if you haven't
Well,
checked out that interview with me and Joe, it was a great one. Be sure to check that one out. It was a great one. Joe gave some great advice in that interview. And I appreciate you, Joe, for the super chat and stopping by. Slash said the two cars for him are the PinFed Pathfinder, and he agreed with you on the Amex Green.
that's what's up.
Yeah, and
That's what's up. I don't have a lot of experience with
yeah,
PenFed, or like Navy Federal. Those credit unions, I don't have a ton of experience with them, but I've heard a lot of great things like the Pathfinder and the Navy Federal More Rewards and a couple of their cards. I've heard a lot of great things about.
yeah. And Philmo said for him Venture X, he's gonna take the Venture X and done.
Yeah, if Capital One would give it to me, I get it, but they've made it very clear it is not for me. I'm too deep in the game for them to give it to me.
Yeah, I hear the stories about Capital One. But
Yeah, it's rough.
Hey, make sure if you're here that you do follow Chad's channel. I have it. It's in the chat. So look at the top of the chat. It's official Chad's Money Minutes. Make sure you stop over there and you follow because, like I stated, Chad gives great advice and perspectives. And honestly, Chad is one of the people that keep me going on here because he gets me out of the whole robotic thing. You know, it actually feels good to see people giving genuine advice and perspective because a lot of times, you know, things can get robotic when it comes to these cards. But when you hear someone talking from experience and their perspective, that's a great thing. So shout out to Chad and Sledge and you know just everyone out here that's doing it. Is there anything that you would like to say to everyone who's watching both live and on the playback before we get off of here, Chad?
Absolutely. Remember, remember, remember. Tell your story. I don't care how mediocre or boring you think your story is. Tell your story. I took a lot of heat for a perspective that I had that said that I think people's first card should be an annual fee card. I wasn't just making that up to be a contrarian or to start any, ruckus with anybody because my first real credit card was an annual fee card. You know what I mean? I went from the Amex Platinum Sky Miles card. Very next card I got was the Amex Platinum card. So I jumped a couple of $100 in an annual fee. I wholeheartedly believe that when people get annual fee cards, that separates the boys from the men. Maybe you're not cut out for this game. You know what I mean? But a lot of people
Right.
want premium options from very non-premium cards, and you set yourself up for failure with that. So pushing that aside, Nell, I want to give you my utmost thanks and gratitude. Gratitude,
Appreciate it.
gratitude to you. You've had some great people here. You've been a big dog in the game. I don't know anybody who knows more about getting yourself in a proper financial space to explore these credit cards than you. You are an authority, and it is my honor and pleasure to stand on your shoulders and refer people to your YouTube page, to your book on Amazon. You're a beast out here, man. And I want to thank you so much for having me. It is my great honor and pleasure to be here.
I appreciate it, man. Definitely, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you for stopping by, giving a super chat. As I stated, like I stated earlier, make sure that you do stop by Chad's channel and hit the subscribe button. That's the channel that you want to follow because you're gonna get advice outside of just talking about a specific credit card. Those perspective videos, those are very helpful because you'll learn a lot. So make sure that you do stop by his channel and you do subscribe and then you actually, show support. But I appreciate everyone for coming by, checking out this video. I appreciate you, Chad. Like I stated, you mean a lot to this game. Don't ever think that you don't because you do. And you definitely got someone that appreciates you over this way. So I appreciate you for taking out the time. It's a Sunday night, but you took out the time and you did an interview over here. So please believe I respect and I appreciate it. But I like to say we're out. So I hope all of you enjoy your Sunday evening and you all share this video if you want to. I let everybody share it if they want to. But make sure that you do follow Chad and hit the like button. Don't shortchange us on the like. Hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate you all.